What's up, everybody? We are live. Oh man, the situation is getting bad. It's getting bad in California, and the big question that I'm asking myself is like, is this stupidity or is this malice? Because it's getting to that point. I'm gonna show you some videos that are just shocking. Whether it's Gavin Newsom, whether it's the mayor, whether it's the DEI hire of the fire department, just madness all around. But before we get going, remember to like and subscribe. All that helps push the algorithm out. So without further ado, I'm here with Cam, and we're gonna get into this California wildfire thing. What's up, bro? You been following this today? Like I was.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I've been trying to keep track of it. It's still devastating. As far as what I've kind of seen up to now, we still have 0% contained. And you have a lot of LA affected. Kind of reached out to people who I know were from LA, hearing the same reports, friends, family,
It's spreading schools, like crazy. Like it's literally spreading like a wildfire.
Homes, there's schools that are going, like it's bad. As far as like social media people I follow, it seems like it seems like war torn. You know what I mean? Like it looks like you're at ground zero in Ukraine. You know what I mean?
And Newsom's being like a total coward. Like it's a disaster. Like he's handling this like epically bad. So check this video out where he's like running away from a reporter who's just desperately trying to get answers.
Governor, you got a second? Governor, I live here, Governor. That was my daughter's school, Governor. Please tell me what you're going to do. I'm not going to hurt him, I promise.
I'm literally talking to the president right now to specifically answer the question of what we can do for you and your daughter.
Can I hear it? Can I hear your call? Because I don't believe it.
I'm sorry. There's literally, I've tried 5 times. That's why I'm walking around to make the
call.
Why
is the president not taking your call?
Because it's not going through.
So why?
I have to get cell service.
So let's get it. Let's get it. I want to be here when you call the president.
I appreciate it. I'm doing that right now. And it's to immediately get reimbursements, individual assistance, and to help you. I'm devastated for you. I'm so sorry, especially for your daughter. I have 4 kids. Losing
everyone who went to school there, they lost their homes. They lost 2 homes because they were living in one and building another. Governor, please tell me, what are you going to do with the president right now?
We're getting the resources to help rebuild.
Why was there no water in the hydrants, Governor?
That's all literally.
Is it going to be different next time?
It has to be. Has to be. Of course.
What are you going to do?
Fill
the hydrants. I would fill them up personally. You know that. I would fill up the hydrants myself. But would you do that?
I would do whatever I can.
But you're not. I see do you know there's water dripping over there, Governor? There's water coming out there. You can use it.
I appreciate it. I'm going to make the call to address everything I can right now, including making sure people
I'd like to make sure you do. Can I have an opportunity to at least tell people you're doing what you're saying you're doing? Could somebody have a contact? Can I have your contact information?
Right there.
Like just pathetic to the highest extent. And he's saying that he's trying to get a hold of Biden. And I mean, that's like
originally stated he was on the phone with him. He said, I'm on the phone with him. And then she's like, can I see? And then he goes, well, I'm trying to. She's like, can I hear him? And then he's like, well, I'm trying to get contact with him. So you lead off with a lie. I don't know. It's funny and not for nothing. I know the governor got praised a lot, DeSantis from Florida when the hurricane happened. I mean, he just went head on and charged forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah. DeSantis is a rock star in emergency situations, but
this is the same thing where we were kind of talking about the mayor. And I know since that one video we showed yesterday, she's already spoken.
She spoke. We're going to show that.
But it's the same thing. It's like they're not even trying to comfort their own people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, dude, a woman in distress at that moment, dude, a hug. I'm sorry. Hey, you know what I mean? I'm trying to do my best. You know what I mean? Like, play the politician. You know what I mean? Why aren't you why aren't you saying the comforting words? You know what I mean? Praying for you, whatever, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I feel the distress here, whatever. Try to level with him. But instead, he's like, hey, can you just get away? I'm trying to make a phone call.
Yeah, he's normally such a good actor, but I mean, this time it's insane. Like he's running away from a reporter.
Yeah.
And then so he's saying he's trying to get a hold of Biden. And now check this out. And by the way, chat, like I'm in the middle of like going down a rabbit hole with all these water allocation things and whatnot, and like these bills that Newsom passed or didn't pass and whatnot. Like, I'm very curious about this whole water situation in California, because apparently it's like this giant rabbit hole. Like, there's all books about it and stuff. We're talking about getting people on the podcast for it. So I'm going down that rabbit hole, but like, I'm trying to think of angles in terms of like who would benefit from this, like who would benefit from, you know, there's the whole fish excuse, but I'm like, that's not saying right with me one bit. Like, I think there's definitely somebody who maybe benefits from this, from the thing, because it's not logical. The things that are happening aren't logical, and when that's the case, like somebody's benefiting from that. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. So let me know if you have theories about that. I'm in the middle of looking into that myself. But
real quick, I saw Stevie P. I agree with you, brother. I'm kind of on the end. You know, all humans are equal. All classes are equal to me. But at the same time, I'm more worried currently about that middle class, brother. Same thing, and all those stories about those homes getting canceled, and you know, I know this happens every year.
Not like this though.
But this is different. You know what I mean, and how it's all going. And I feel like what I'm seeing here on the chat, you're seeing a good bit of people just saying, you know, they needs to resign, he's a scumbag, and all that good stuff. So, yeah, I agree with a lot of what chat's saying right now, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. This is, you know, ruin Newsom's legacy. But so check this out, this little hot mic moment from Biden.
Madam Vice President, I know you're directly affected, so you fire away. No pun intended.
All right, as the president throws it to the vice president.
You hear that?
No pun intended.
They start cracking up.
Yeah. Hold on. First off, isn't she from San Francisco? Or is she LA?
I think San Francisco.
Okay, so San Fran's a little far away for sure. And then he goes, no pun intended.
Well, what, he's just like suddenly witty enough to crack jokes about wildfires. Like,
it's such a
unbelievable.
joke. Like, it's not even a laughing matter, and they're just joking about it. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, like they don't give a fuck about anybody.
No.
So I mean, I have a lot of stuff. Like I got videos of firefighters putting fires out with buckets. I have
Jeez.
But I have to show you this one though. This one is a true gem. So I'm not even gonna like here. I'm not even gonna tee it up. I'm just gonna show you. Sit back and enjoy this beauty.
You want to see somebody that responds to your house, your emergency, whether it's a medical call or a fire call, that looks like you. It gives that person a little bit more ease, knowing that somebody might understand their situation better. Is she strong enough to do this? Or you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire, which my response is, he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire.
That's absolutely horrible. Yeah, I can't even believe somebody thought that was a good idea to say that.
I got it
in the wrong place. Maybe an accident happened. That's horrible. That's trash.
Oh my god, it's insane, dude. It's insane.
Stupid. That's stupid. I can't even believe that.
And then here we have the mayor.
I said that.
The county is in a panic state. It began 2 days ago with the Palisades fire. My crew and I arrived shortly after it started. And for several hours, we watched as hundreds of homes in a neighborhood burned to the ground. We did not see a single fire engine. We watched as Good Samaritans guided traffic. There was fear and there was a lot of confusion. You were out of the country at the time. Shortly after the fire started, a press release was put out warning of this fire behavior. My question to you is, what explains this lack of preparation and rapid response?
Let me just say, first and foremost, my number one focus, and I think the focus of all of us here with one voice, is that we have to protect lives, we have to save lives, and we have to save homes. Rest assured that let me finish. Rest assured, when that is done, when we are safe, when lives have been saved and homes have been saved, we will absolutely do an evaluation to look at what worked, what didn't work, and to correct or to hold accountable any body, department, individual, etc. But my focus right now is on the lives and on the homes.
Do you think your leadership was effective while responding to this disaster?
I just said what I believe is the most important thing for us to do right now, and that is going to continue to be my focus.
No, she can't answer the question. That means no, she does not feel like it was effective. She just answered it by avoiding the question. Oh my God.
It's insane.
Lack of
But-
accountability. Nobody has nuts, dude. That's how I look at it.
No, but I mean, it's like a DEI clown show. I mean, and we're starting to hear some of the salaries that these people are being paid on top of being underqualified. So, Pat had a pretty good tweet. It shows, so the lady who's in charge of the water and power department or whatever, she has like a quick thing where she spoke today and explains like why all the fire hydrants were out of water in less than 1 day, but she makes $750,000 a year. And then the first LGBTQ fire chief, the chick we saw yesterday in that promo video, makes $439,000 per year as a fire chief.
Wait. Say it again.
The first LGBTQ fire chief makes $439,000 a year.
I mean, she negotiated a good damn contract. Holy crap. That's definitely on the higher end across the nation.
And then there's a LA Fire Department first Black Lesbian Equity Bureau chief that makes $400,000 a year. Equity Bureau chief.
I don't even know what that is.
I know. I guess they just invent. I mean, you wonder why they're out of money in California. They're just handing shit out like this, like creating new positions and paying
$17
people.
million taken out, but they can pay a chief, a fire chief.
An equity bureau chief.
Nah, that's crazy.
And then
that's crazy. I know.
It's unbelievable.
Even here, some of the chat was just saying, like, yeah, I mean, probably a lot of these lands are probably going to go, or this real estate is going to be for nickels and dimes, and it's kind of like right here. Even Buck Bob said, ask him if you're being offered $700K for the land. Yeah, that's
right. That's the thing. I mean, like, because you have to like assume that something like that, because it's like they're not even trying to do like respond in a serious way here.
Yeah.
I have a video here of them putting fires out with buckets.
Have you heard of this? I saw somebody just said LA has curfew now. I know they're out of electricity. They have no electricity running right now.
Yeah, there's like a couple 100,000 there without electricity, but look at this shit. They're fucking waddling over with a bucket and
oh god, that's more forest fire though. They're just fighting little forest. So it's,
I mean, like, talk about like an inefficient way to do it. It's like you're just like grabbing water in your hands and like running over at 50 yards and tossing.
At this point, they're like really working with almost no water. You know what I mean? Which is just scary as fuck. Because I mean, if you're a firefighter without water, you're shit out of luck. What's going on also too? What I've seen is that today today their winds were actually pretty rough again. And with a big danger with high winds also is that the embers spread out more. And so you're having these random little fires all spread out through random little spots starting off. And I think they said a second area started burning up today, I believe, which was like totally farther away from where it was going. So it's interesting.
No, dude, they're even talking about Hollywood, like literally Hollywood being burnt down.
Yeah, Hollywood Hills is starting to burn up. Yeah. So David Dobrik, obviously big famous blogger and all that. I've seen from his side of things. It's like I think they were about to evacuate. They were going to, and then they put out the fire allegedly, and then like I don't know. I'm trying to see with whoever's posting on social media, what other side you kind of see whatever people are posting. But I've seen around the streets other people putting on their stories. It's bad. It's real bad. But go ahead, show the video.
The one I have right now. Let's see, where'd this thing go? What should I call it? So. Where's this thing? Oh, here
of water, and the first tank about.
This is the water.
We
person.
ran out of water, and the first tank about 4:45 p.m. yesterday. We ran out of water on the second tank about 8:30 p.m. and the third tank about 3 a.m. this morning. Those tanks help with the pressure on the fire hydrants and the hills of Palisades. And because we were pushing so much water in our trunk line, And so much water was being used before it can get to the tanks. We were not able to fill the tanks fast enough. So the consumption of water was faster than we can provide water in a trunk line. So I want to make sure that you understand there's water on the trunk line. It just cannot get up the hill because we cannot fill the tanks fast enough.
What is the number of hydrants that could not get water because of these pressure issues? What percentage of the system in Pacific Palisades wasn't getting service at that point?
We were trying to keep water at all altitudes on the Palisades, and I think about 3 a.m, that's when the hydrants went dry above the Brentwood area. We are able to push water on that trunk line on the east side of that, and we have some water on higher elevations, 16 to 18,000. But at 3,000, at 3 a.m., all of the fire hydrants went dry in the Palisades. What are we doing now? We're sending about 20 water tanks for our construction crews full of water to support the fire department. We identify other areas in our system where our tankers can refill. It takes about 30 minutes to refill about 4,000 gallons of water. And we're constantly moving that water to the fire department to get them as much water as we can. For the people on zip code 90272, because we're pushing the water system so hard, our water quality is decreasing. So we're gonna be issuing a boil water notice this morning, and that will extend for about 48 hours. The water quality is low. We have a lot of ash in the system. And so please, if you're gonna be drinking water, you need to boil the water. Those boiled waters will continue to increase as the system starts restoring.
Jeez. So, I mean, I'm just going to come out and say it, dude. Like, it's a fucking DEI circus, and it's all fun and games, and you want to do the whole DEI inclusivity and like diverse, like woman, black, trans, Spanish, whatever, hired, like do like, oh, the first ever LGBTQ chief of the fire department. No, like the first ever woman of the head of the war department, whatever. But like now you have like a bunch of unqualified people running around, and like there hasn't been a single effective, competent thing done yet. Like I haven't heard like one piece of good news where like, oh, this department did this and that, like created a good result for people.
You got to remember. So I get what you're saying on that. Listen, I think that's just one chief, though. You got to understand. So when people get
involved in the situation, it seems like a DEI hire.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So a lot of positions, there's a chief, could be a battalion chief, station chief, shift chief. So there's more than one chief, right? Obviously, I believe that one's the head of Los Angeles. There's more than one chief going on here, and it comes down beyond what they have control. They can't control what's going on with the mayors, the politics. You know what I mean? Politics has a way more bigger effect on the fire station. So I think beyond even that, you're having trouble is accountability through the state politics, right? And you're having through local politicians. That's the biggest problem to me, and that's what I'm seeing. Now, real quick, we have somebody in chat, and I believe it's haplotype 0. I believe he got evacuated yesterday, and I'm sorry to hear that.
Really? Let's see.
Here we go. And he's confirming what has been unreal. Hold on. Where we go? Yeah, they got evacuated last night. Haplotype 0. I hope you're doing good. Hope you're all well.
Yeah.
Please let us know if there's anything that you feel like isn't being reported. I'm actually interested to see what you feel on this subject, what you're seeing, what you're maybe more local. So how do you feel your local politics have handled this, or what could be done better? Interested here. You're saying
someone did this on purpose.
Yeah, someone did this on purpose. Yeah, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm very sorry that you're in this position. You're at a hotel right now, brother. I hope you stay safe. If you're with family, I hope your family's doing well. I hope you guys stay safe, get some food. That's detrimental. I'm very, very, very sorry.
Yeah.
Velasquez. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so Steve Peeper said the real Chiefs are too busy to press conference. Yeah, the real Chiefs are on the ground right now, brother. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
And they have nothing to work with. What are they working with?
Yeah.
I mean, is there anything they could do aside from water, like that foam shit or whatever?
Yeah, the foam shit is for different scenarios. you have the tankers. There's one specific for it, but that doesn't. I mean, that can only go so far, and you only have so much on it. Hapla, I'm moving to Florida. Hey, brother, good for you. Get out of there, brother. Get out of there.
Yeah, please. I mean, like, because that's the difference with like leadership at the top. DeSantis, like, he's on top of this shit like days and days beforehand. Like, Newsom was warned about this problem years ago. There's a clip of Trump saying to him, like, in 2018, like, you got to take care of this brush. You got to take care of the brush because it's like huge, whatever you can call it, like timber box for a fire to pop off if in bad conditions. So like why would you ignore this? And I found this great page about Newsom, and it makes me think of all types of questions. So he has so this is how elite San Francisco families fund Gavin Newsom's political ascent, and it's really these 8 families that they call as faithful 8. It's the Guggenheims, the Buell, the Swig, Marcus, Wilson, Trania, Fisher, Getty, and Pritzker. Getty and Pritzker are really the big ones. And so, like, the rabbit hole that I'm going down right now is I'm trying to see if any of these families like benefit in some way from him doing, because the things that he's doing aren't really explainable. It's not easy to explain, like, the totally irrational decisions he's made, like, in relation to this situation, like a lot of other things. But this, first and foremost, I mean, I think he like legitimately feels like shit right now because he's helpless and he can't do anything. But like what else could the incentive be? Like you seriously, you're going to try to make the argument that like the fish is the reason that you didn't preserve water, that you dumped 50% of your water into the ocean?
Yeah, it's and I even looking across chat, it feels like a lot of people are on that same page where it's like it feels almost intentional. It feels like they were allowing for that perfect situation to happen. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I'm very obviously I do believe that whole off the rip, doing the dams and the rivers for the extent fish, that was stupid, and that was definitely a horrible mark to start off with, right? That's definitely a negative strike towards you. You know what I mean? 100%. That's unheard of. But
yeah, I mean, to say the least.
Yeah, for one fish, you know what I mean, and maybe some animal levels are out there, and people say one fish is worth it. But I mean, at what point are lives not more important than one fish? You know what I mean? Like, look at the situation right now. You know what I mean? I don't know. What now? As far as your point was, what you're saying with those people. I mean, do we know any more information on those people outside of their first name, or you're trying to kind of dig forward?
Yeah, no, I know like what businesses they're involved in. I know the Pritzkers are like big time globalists. The not mayor, the governor of Chicago, or excuse me, the governor of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker. He's big time globalist, like in all, like he pretty much runs Illinois the same way that Newsom runs California, and like the way that they run these places, like it's like they're trying to create chaos and kind of run it into the ground and make it unlivable and like undesirable to people. So like the real question is like, what's motivating you to create these conditions? And I guess it's a combination of greed. Yeah, but like
their pockets are probably filled. They're guaranteed that they're going to continue to have all that donation money. They're placing their people who are donating.
But Pritzker's worth $90 billion. And, as the governor of Illinois, he runs Illinois the same way that Newsom runs Chicago. So I'm nearly positive that Newsom is like heavily coached and influenced on the way that the people that got him into position and like promised to make him president in the future. I'm certain that he runs the place the way they want him to run it. So, like you have to ask yourself, like, what kind of conditions are these people that got Newsom into power, like the people that Pritzker's friends with? Yeah. What's the outcome that they want? And the trend that seems to happen when people get like extremely rich, I mean, not all of them, but a lot of people, when they get extremely rich, like multi-billionaire status, they start to go towards like this socialist clique where they try to create conditions where nobody else can like obtain the levels that they've obtained, because they don't want to compete or have to keep reinventing themselves or have their like the industry that they conquered be like chipped away at by somebody else. So it's almost like a magnetic pull towards like socialism and like this like socialism, globalism, I think are essentially
Keep
the same
monopoly.
thing. Yeah, like they try to create monopoly conditions like once they get to the top. Not everybody's like that, but it's like that amongst a lot of these rich people.
Yeah. I know even like I don't know. I'm trying to remember. What is it?
Like people in the chat, like what do you think about this? Like, what is the outcome that people like JB Pritzker and Gavin Newsom want? And like you know, you even see this in New York. Like, so in New York, if you're not like cut from this cloth, you're not tolerated. Like Andrew Cuomo, the second he started going a little bit more moderate, you know, they just dug up like the fucking like probably shelf of files they had on him for shit that they could just like, you know, throw him under the bus for. And they're like, oh, yep, sexual assault scandal. And then Mayor Adams, you know, the second he starts saying, oh yeah, let's not just take tens of thousands of illegal immigrants into our city that we can't like house anywhere. The second he starts, you know, being a little bit moderate on that, they're like, oh, yep, scandal from the past here. Like, throw that thing out. And now he's facing like court cases and potential jail time. So, like, I mean, I'm asking it a bit rhetorically, but I'm making sure everybody else is on the same page. And like, I'm not out on a limb where nobody else is at. Like what kind of condition, like, how do they benefit from creating chaos in these cities? And I guess the logical answer from that is you create the problem, and then it gets so bad that people beg you for a solution. And then you could, you know, create the conditions you want because you're saying like, oh yeah, I'm going to save you from these conditions, but they're the ones who create the conditions.
Yeah, I agree. I think I kind of see it from chat. Chat's kind of agreeing with you as well. I think it boils down to having more control, and it's almost like a sense of security of what they're wanting their next generation to have, that same, I don't know, comfort, power, you know what I mean? Money for not to leave, you know what I mean? And it's like what you said, anybody who speaks against the agenda, right? Like in Chicago, or anybody who speaks against these things, they're right away like dropped, right? Oh, you're no longer no good. You're not, you know, you're not. They'll find some dirt on you and they'll find their way out, you know, with you.
Who would be a good governor for California? Like somebody who could realistically win. Like, so Pat posted that on X today saying like, who should be the next governor of California? And I also, so people in the chat, who do you think would like somebody who could actually win the state? Who would be a good governor for California? Because you have to think strategically here. Like, it's still got a Democrat supermajority, like super fortified position for the Democrats. So you have to almost have somebody who's,
they no longer have to even show an ID. They can't even see it. So I mean,
like it has to be like an overwhelming situation.
At this point, whoever they want to win will win. I feel like. I mean, that's how far gone I think California is at this point. And you got to sell your soul to their agenda.
I think somebody like Rogan could win it.
Who?
Rogan.
Yeah, but Joe Rogan would never do it.
I don't know if he was just talking shit the other day, or if he was being somewhat serious. He's like, oh, like it must be sick to be governor. Like they do all kinds of like crazy fucking shit. And he's like, we should be governor of like a crazy place, like what do you say, like Nebraska, or where's the place, Utah or something. I'm like, no, Joe, go save California. Because on Pat's post today, the number one answer was Nicole Shanahan, the lady who was RFK's running mate, but. Like, yeah, that's better than Newsom, but I don't 100% trust that because, you know, she's still from the Silicon Valley clique. RFK still has some weird positions, and I don't know. Like, I don't even know if she'd be I don't think the Democrat Party would accept her there. I think you almost have to run as a Republican, or even be like a sneaky Democrat where you're like going in and faking them out.
You know, I think I agree with Chat. Chat said one that was pretty good. How about that Brandon Aceto guy?
I would love to run California. Like, it's
would you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Hey,
I've never even been there. I want to, and I wish I went there like during the golden ages, because like it's the most geographically blessed place in the world. Like, you have everything that you need. And like, you know, if they weren't dumping 50% of the water they have into the ocean for some godforsaken reason, you know, I think they could pretty easily avoid this problem.
Mm-hmm.
They have clouds in the sky. Is it a thing that there's like never clouds in the sky in California?
No, I didn't think.
There's clouds regularly, right?
Yes, there is.
Yeah, okay. So there's no excuse for not doing cloud seeding either.
What is it? We were kind of speaking about this, and I've kind of seen a couple things about it. And you know, religious. I kind of just talking to you about this earlier, I don't know, chat. Remember there? Who
Biz
remembers
Doc.
the movie 2012?
Bronco from Riverside.
Yeah, or was that Bronco? Do you guys remember 2012? That movie that came out with like it was the end of the world and like it's like
I Am
California.
Legend?
No, it was just named 2012.
Battle Los Angeles. Oh, the movie's called
2012. Yes. I don't know what else to tell you, brother, but it's 2012.
I thought you were trying to reconcile the name.
No, the movie is literally called 2012.
And that was when everybody thought the world was going to end in 2012.
Yes, it's like the whole Aztec thing. But I don't know what's always been interesting. It gives me chills. Is like that they've always said that like California would burn up, Los Angeles would burn up. Some people I've seen even were like, oh, this is Hollywood's like paying for their sins. You know what I mean? Like here's like Los Angeles, like potentially like right now, if it continues to be zero contained and if these winds continue to be up and they continue to struggle with water, man, in a couple of days, we could potentially see Los Angeles burnt up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I mean, if the conditions continue, there's zero water and the winds continue to be, I mean, we potentially could be seeing here Los Angeles burnt to crisp. You know what I mean?
And Hollywood, like the iconic part of Hollywood.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, hey, dude, I kind of it scares me, you know what I mean, with the prophecies that people say all the time. Like, I know my family would always be like, you're like, you know, I always jump around from state to state and lived at a couple different places. And my family's like, you're not going to California, right? I was like, heck no, I'm not going. I was like, that ain't my flow. And I was like, way too expensive. But it's always been that thing where it's like, Cali's supposed to burn up or a big earthquake or this or that. You know what I mean? So it's, I don't know if anybody knows any prophecy stuff that comes out. I've kind of seen a little bit on chat about it, you know. 2012 is a great movie to watch. Feels like it's coming to Peter 3.8 timeline stuff. Yeah, man, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of scary. I've seen multiple people talk about prophecies.
Talking like the rapture?
They're talking about like things that would happen in California and like being burnt up and things like that. I also saw somebody said, have you heard about that? They're making people quarantine or curfew. They can't leave their house. How are you going to put a curfew?
Really?
How are you going to put a curfew on people when you're also wanting for them to evacuate? Or maybe that's why they're putting a curfew so that people that need to go.
I did not see that. Let's see.
Quake is coming. Look at the winds are picking up. Power shut off in San Diego.
Oh yeah, wow.
All the way in San Diego.
So I haven't seen something about a curfew. Look. So deadly Eaton fire prompts mandatory curfew.
Yeah, that's
3 hours ago.
Does it explain why? That's what I'm really curious about. Like, why?
Let's see.
What's the reason behind that?
Look at this article. It's just a headline. There's nothing here. It's okay. There's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Pasadena now.
I got here 2012 is a movie. Everyone who has not seen it yet, it's a good time to watch it. Yeah, brother. I feel it's fucking crazy. It's weird, dude. It's weird.
Yeah, it was kind of 50-50 on that. Something actually happening in 2012. But some people think that we like entered alternate reality or something. All right. So here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Board of Supervisors Chair Barger, Sheriff Luna announced county will call a National Guard and implement curfews to combat looting.
Oh, what people are currently looting? What do you?
Yeah, I have a video about that actually that I'll show in a second. So to protect residents who have been displaced by wildfires, Board of Supervisors Chair Supervisor blah 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 announced today. Well, you want me to read it or not? What?
Go ahead. I was gonna say technically, I mean, gold and diamonds and things won't burn up from these houses. So I guess if people are trying to run through them, go ahead. Sorry.
So they announced today that they requested the support of California National Guard and will be implementing curfew hours to keep looters at bay. Residents who have evacuated have faced unimaginable devastation, displacement, and loss. Chair Catherine Barger said, "We must stand up against opportunistic people who want to prey on these victims. Los Angeles County will not stand by and allow already traumatic experience to be further compounded." As of Thursday afternoon, the sheriff's department had arrested 20 people for looting. The sheriff said law enforcement has been working around the clock to protect residents' property, and the 400 National Guards members who will be deployed will expand the efforts already underway. The National Guard is expected to deploy as early as Thursday evening and will, it's like right now.
Yeah, right now. That's why they have a curfew, if that makes sense. Now they have the backup.
Well, like, what if like the area a mile away from you is on fire? Like, what they're telling you to stay inside?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't understand. Like, what they're gonna like try to like physically stop you from leaving if a fire's near you? This effort will allow law enforcement to free up our resources and to move personnel to other critical areas throughout the county, becoming a force multiplier, Sheriff Robert G. Luna said. I think Berto's about to jump on. The curfew will apply to the 2 current fire evacuation areas and will be in place from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. for areas under mandatory evacuation orders. Speaking of that, I found a funny article.
Well, real quick, I also see at San Diego, some people are saying coming in San Diego has power. There was a countdown earlier. Oh yeah, well nobody's listening to them. Yeah, I mean that's one of those things with curfew, right? You as much as they want to implement a curfew, how much are really going to people, do about it?
Right.
Keep going.
Yeah, like they don't even have the resources to
yeah.
whatchamacallit. So where's that video?
Hey, hip low, be safe, brother. I'm happy you got away with your son and your dog. I hope you guys are good. Be safe. Hopefully you guys are able to get out to Florida and come back on the chat. Let us know how your journey's going, brother. We'll be on tomorrow.
Yeah, Hiplo, thoughts and prayers to you. Be safe.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw an article earlier that said California issuing strict punishments for theft over $900. Like I know that's already their law, but like in context of the situation, let me find that quick. But
Andrew's coming from San Diego. Good, brother. Hope you guys stay safe over there in San Diego. Keep going, brother. I'm just looking at what's going on.
Was getting my whole family out. All you have in the mind is you're in survival mode at that point. I saw men coming into our neighborhoods. Police confirmed it. She had this to say. Take a listen.
It was wild. We just started seeing all these cars pull up, doors open, and groups of men running up our street, going up to the doors of these houses. And we weren't sure what was going on. I'm thinking, are these people here to help my neighbors? I hope so. And I left. And then my husband talked to the police and said, what are those guys doing? These guys don't live here. Get them out. My next door neighbor said, his quote, there were like 100 people that came up on scooters and were trying to get into any and all houses on the street.
And did you physically?
Why were you laughing about it? She sounds like a psychopath. Say that.
Yeah.
But it's not to say that they weren't. It was so incredibly chaotic, and I was so worried about my big family and getting them out of our old tinderbox of a house that I was just focused on them first.
Yep. So there you go. I mean, see, and then that's another example. I haven't heard Newsom come out and say anything about that. But like DeSantis, every time there's a hurricane, like the first thing you hear him say is like so help me God, you guys better not loot because we will come down on you with like the full force of the law enforcement, blah blah blah. Like he gives like a thorough leadership-esque type of message. But like Newsom's like too busy running away from reporters. He hasn't said anything about this.
Yeah, I don't know that's weird. And why wouldn't you report that? I mean, I guess focus on the other stuff, but I mean, but that's the things that's why I was trying to ask, chat if they've seen anything or heard anything that isn't being reported. And that's great. You're putting that up. It's like those are the things that happen, right? Those that kind of people forget that happen during natural disasters, right? And it's those like events of looting and
look at
what's
this
going
guy.
on, Umberto.
What's up? I'm here.
What's up? We're just going through all the layers of disaster that are going on in California right now. Like Newsom, do you see the video of Newsom running away from the reporter?
Oh no, get out of here.
You didn't see it? All right.
The same thing as the mayor of LA.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much actually. He spoke a little bit, but he sounded so rattled and he lied to the lady. Here, I'll play it just for you. Where's this thing?
Rich.
Dude, he is such a fucking pussy. Here it is.
Governor, you got a second? Governor, I live here, Governor. That was my daughter's school, Governor. Please tell me what you're going to do. I'm not going to hurt him, I promise.
I'm literally talking to the president right now to specifically.
Oh, wow.
question of what we can do for you and your daughter.
Can I hear it? Can I hear your call?
I
Because
can't.
I
It
don't
doesn't-
believe it.
I'm sorry. There's literally, I've tried 5 times. That's why I'm walking around to make the
Why is
call.
the president?
Oh,
not
so you
taking
didn't
the
make the
call?
call yet?
Yeah, this is live right there.
So let's get it. Let's
No
get it.
cell
I want to be
service.
here when you call the president.
I appreciate it. I'm doing that right now. And it's to immediately get reimbursements, individual assistance, and to help you. I'm devastated for you. I'm so sorry, especially for your daughter. I have 4 kids. Losing the school.
Everyone who went to school there, they lost their homes. They lost 2 homes because they were living in one and building another. Governor, please tell me, what are you going to do with the president right now?
We're getting the resources to help rebuild. We're getting
Why
the
was there no
resources to do
water
it.
in the hydrants,
That's all
Governor?
That's all literally.
Is it going to be different next time?
It has to be.
Right. What are you going to do?
I'm doing
To fill
everything
the
I can.
hydrants. I would fill them up personally. You know
This
that.
dude laughs.
I would fill up the hydrants myself. Would
This is
you-
really sad.
I would do whatever
Yeah,
I
it's
can.
insane.
You're not. I see the. Do you know there's
Hey,
water
real
dripping
quick,
over
I gotta
there,
answer this
Governor?
message real quick.
There's
I'll be right
water
back.
coming out.
What's up?
Oh man.
One second, I gotta
Brandon.
respond. One second.
But yeah,
This
dude.
is-
So, and then there's a video of oh man, this is gonna piss you off. So, there's a video of like Biden is sharp enough to be cracking jokes about this. So look at this.
Oh no, Brandon, come on. I've been
Yeah.
here for 5 minutes and I already want to fucking break my computer screen.
Oh, where'd this one go? Here it is.
Madam Vice President, I know you're directly affected, so you fire away. No pun intended.
All right, as the president
Oh,
throws it to
come
the
on.
vice president.
Like, since when is he witty enough to make jokes about anything, let alone like they're laughing about it?
That is disgusting.
Madness.
It is
Like they don't
madness.
give a fuck about this.
Oh man, they don't care.
No. And then I don't want to like re-show every video, but then there's there's so much stuff coming out about like every person in a position of leadership is like a trans this or like diversity that, and like you saw the thing that Pat posted with like the lady that's for the water position that's making like 700,000 a year, and then the there's like a position, there's like a special position for the fire department, like the chief equity officer, it's making like 400,000 a year. So it's like just like DEI circus shit show, and like nobody knows. Like I haven't seen a single competent thing come out of the situation. Like not one piece of good news.
Can I say something?
Yeah, please.
I think there's a direct, correlation between guys with mustaches and solving things. Like
I always feel better.
The fire chief needs to be a dude with a mustache,
Yep.
right?
Mhm.
Burly dude with a mustache.
Yeah.
The military, guys with mustaches. That's what it is. Oh man. And jokes aside, like that lady's heartbreaking. Like if she's complaining about the school, that means that she has kids, all right?
Yeah.
So that means she lost her home, their kids lost their school, and the way she talks to him, it looks like she has a faith that he's gonna do something about it. Like, I mean, I don't want to victim blame here, but it's on her.
It's like genuine
right?
desperation.
It is genuine desperation. And
Like, do you think this is malice or stupidity? Like that's really the ultimate question that I have, because like we know why things are happening, I guess, like why it's gotten so bad. Like they don't have water because they dumped it into the ocean. They don't have leadership, I guess, at the best positions, and like with their mayor and their fire department chief, because like they did diversity hires. But I mean, do you think it's straight stupidity, or do you think it's malice? Because I'm like kind of going down the rabbit hole of this whole water thing, like why they dump 50% of their water supply into the ocean.
Oof. I worked in politics for years, Brandon, and usually the visible leaders, like the fire chief lady, Gavin Newsom, and this and that, it's 80%, stupidity, maybe 10-20% malice. Like the thing is that Gavin Newsom, he wants to be the president of the United States. That's his priority number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4.
Yeah.
Like we had this guy talk about the homeless situation in California. All right.
Yeah.
So So it's like fire and forget. He signs a bill, gives out $20 billion to the homeless,
And that money gets lost and probably
yeah,
wandered to God knows where.
And oh man, I don't want to spoil the interview because it's really good. It's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah. With the
But
homeless guy.
once he's, because giving back to the homeless, that's noble. It's charitable, or putting money towards the fire thing, or putting money towards the water thing, and so they sign the check, they take the picture, and then the real malice, comes from the guy there one layer below, right?
Below or above?
No, below. I mean, above and below. All right. Because you have big interest, they have a bigger plan. And the layer that goes below, the owners of these NGOs, of these companies that provide services, they put together companies, they put together charities just to cash the checks, Brandon.
Yeah. Well,
apparently,
apparently there's this whole crazy history of like water rights, warfare, and like legislation and regulation, like all this crazy stuff on the West Coast when it comes to water rights, because it's like the western like the western half of the United States is super dry compared to the East Coast. So there's all these things where like certain states have water rights to like bodies of water that are in other states, and then they like will divert water to a different way, and there's like these 100-year-old battles over that. And then the whole thing with California is like the water melts off the mountains up in the north near Sacramento, and there's like a river there, and I guess they see a very clear way to put up a dam, and the dam would just, instead of letting the water flow into the ocean, it would flow down to Southern California or create a reservoir, which would be perfect right now.
The top layer is evil and greedy. They make the most out of it.
Speaking of go ahead.
Yeah. And then the layer just below, the guys that are cashing the checks. Like, let's go crazy conspiracy here. All right.
Yeah, we're going there. We're going there.
Yeah, I'm an evil, guy that has billions, trillions of dollars. All right. And I want to buy
let's
that
say
land.
just somebody like J.B. Pritzker.
All right. Let's not give names out, allegedly. All right. I'm that guy. And I want that land. All right. But there's humans living there.
Those pesky humans.
Wish
they would just go away somehow. Could we just make them go away?
All right. What's in my best interest for those people to move away?
Mm-hmm.
What's the thing that I push? I'm not saying they set the fire, but I'm saying they set the policies that set the fire. You know where I'm going with this?
I do.
So they lobby heavily. All right. And when these politicians, when they buckle and sign the check, there's another layer of evil underneath that go like, oh my God, you won't believe this. Gavin Newsom just signed, $16 billion for the homeless. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna put a website together, hire all my idiot, liberal art majors to make it look super official. We're gonna go make the bid, and we're gonna get the business there. And then the people that actually need help, they never get it.
Well, the term eminent domain, like where the government wants something and the person doesn't want to sell it, and they end up like saying that it's like in the government's like national interest for them to obtain that land, and they kind of like force you to get out of it.
And then we talked about it on Wednesday.
Eminent domain. We didn't say eminent domain.
No, we haven't gotten there yet. We're getting there.
Well, made me question myself.
But
I think this is like a faster, like an expedited eminent domain type of thing. So look at this list that I've had up on the screen for like 5 minutes now, though. So the reason
you talked about Maui already?
No, I didn't.
All right. Okay.
But peep this real quick. So like you say, I know Newsom's a puppet. I know that he's he'll literally do any, like he doesn't believe a single thing that he says. Like, and he has a really, really corrupt past. Like he's just like he's cheated. He's lied.
Mayor, governor, president, book deal. That's what it is.
Speaking engagements.
Speaking engagements and book deals. There's no more to it.
But look at who he's hooked up with, though. So he has a group that's called his Faithful Eight, and the Pritzker family, the Getty family, the Fisher family, the Guggenheims, and like a few other rich families. They've been the main funders behind Newsom, and they helped him start his whole wine business. So he's kind of a little bit rich because of that. So I mean, this all started because his father was like the lawyer or something, or like the like the person who handled the trust for the Getty family. So he's close with the Getty family right off the bat, and they helped him get to where he got with being the San Francisco mayor and then governor. So he's indebted to these people. So then you have to ask yourself, like, okay, so he's doing the things he's doing clearly because these people want him to do it. So like, why do these people benefit from it? And then I mentioned the point before to Cam that the Pritzkers, like, so JB Pritzker runs Illinois. He runs Illinois the exact same way that Newsom runs Chicago, or Pritzker runs Illinois the same way that Newsom runs California. So what do they have to gain, I ask figuratively, by running like two of the biggest states in the country, like absolute dog shit, making it unlivable, making it undesirable? Is it just to drive people out and, you know, buy things on the cheap?
Maybe there's more to it.
What do you speculate? And to the chat too, like, you know, we're hypothesizing here. So like, I'm like open floor. What do you guys speculate is the reason that people like Newsom and Pritzker are running their states the way they're running them? Like, what's the outcome that they're like, because, you know, they're clearly like running their state as bad as they possibly can and make it as unlivable as possible. So what is their end game with that? I'm asking you now.
Are you asking me? Like,
yeah. The chat flurries in.
I can go so many ways with this. Like, the ideal California for these people, you know, it's the people that live in Malibu, not the people that live in Malibu now, the people that should live in Malibu according to them. All right.
Right.
It's the bankers, it's big business to have their holiday homes there, not their business there. They want to be a sanctuary, like Martha's Vineyard, but bigger. All right.
All right.
Brendan, these people think we're too many. Can I remind you that they think we're too many?
Yeah. And that's why they hate oil. That's why they're trying to like do the least efficient energy source possible. They want to slow population growth.
And then every time they generate a problem, they offer a solution.
Right.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So it gets really bad. They go like, oh no, shoplifting is out of control because we signed the law that let people steal $996. Let's bring it down. And then people clap and they vote for them again. It keeps on going, Brandon. It keeps on going. What are we going to do about it?
Immigration was a problem they could have solved back when Obama was around, but they never did.
So they let me and Cam in.
Tell me if this is weird, guys. So, like with this whole, you know, I said eminent domain. I think this is like an expedited version of eminent domain. One of the things I've been keeping an eye on with California is this high-speed railway project. So it's going to be really interesting to see. Like, so I mean, for whatever reason, 2 and 3 days ago, there's like a shit ton of headlines about the high-speed railway. I mean, kind of weird. But like, imagine if this thing lines up with the path of where these houses are.
All right, but here's my thing though, right? Here's another angle I'll give. But if you want to say they're doing it intentionally, okay, maybe.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, okay. But see that, okay, but so here's my thing. Los Angeles, how much money is it in Los Angeles? How many people aren't there that are plenty of wealthy, plenty of supporters already of Gavin Newsom? Let's look at Los Angeles. How did it vote? Pure blue. So why would they want to ruin a city that is guaranteed for them being blue? And why would they ruin Hollywood? You know what I mean? Like, why would they intentionally do it?
Why would they intentionally ruin Hollywood? So I said, well, you were gone. You know, like the concept of eminent domain?
No.
No?
No.
So eminent domain is like when the government wants to do something with your land and they make the case that it's it's in the national interest that they need to take it. So like when Trump was building the border wall, they used eminent domain against people who like had property that like was in the spot where they wanted to build a border wall. So they end up kind of squeezed, like they start off with the carrot and then they end up using the stick if you don't play ball. You know, like they offer you I guess usually a good amount of money, sometimes not a fair amount of money to get you out of there, and then like eventually they'll start, you know, using the law against you to get you out of there if you don't do it the easy way. But I think this could potentially be an expedited eminent domain thing. And let's see. So does this freaking thing line up with the are you guys looking at? No, you're not looking at the one I'm looking at. So does this freaking map line up with where the fires are?
Where's the fire map?
I'm pulling up the fire map. So this is where the project is going to be, and let's see where's the fire map.
So the fire be to the left of Burbank and to the right of that line, that blue line. That's where it started. To the right of the blue line will be Palisades. To the left was the other one I was looking at it. So not necessarily, no. I mean, now it is. Now, I mean, it's burnt up, but where it started wasn't originally there.
All right, so here's a map of the wildfires.
Go to Google Maps. Google Maps actually has it where it's burning up and everything.
Oh, really? Is it better than this one?
Let me see what you're looking at. I mean, yeah, I mean, that's a little more. There was one I saw. Hold on. I'll compare it to where it's at. Hold on. Yesterday. Yeah, I think, I mean, it's slightly better. I think you can see a little better where it's at. That's 1, 2, that's four areas. Google Maps is kind of giving you where in the areas more. So you got Kenneth Fire, Hearst Fire on top, Eaton Fire towards the east, and Sunset Fire, which is where you're starting to see it hit more there in Glendale. So what you got right now is semi-accurate. I mean, it is accurate, but you're kind of seeing here more where it's at if you look at Google Maps.
All right, so I'm gonna go back to the other one. So like, let's look at this like peninsula here. So it's right here in this like nook of the peninsula, and then dude, it kind of does line up with it. I'm not saying this is definitely it, but this is a working theory. All right, so you see this spot right here, and then like that would be like right here. So it's like right here that's happening, and then the other one's happening right here. So it actually is right where it is, or right where it's intended to go.
Mm.
I don't know. You guys think I'm crazy for this, or do you think
I think you're reaching.
Something?
I think
Chat. What do you think? Could percentage chance that what I'm saying I could be onto something? Like, are you seeing what I'm seeing?
Do you need help with that? Because I can reach it. I can reach it for you. Because
yeah, give me a hand reaching.
Yeah, give me a hand reaching. I mean, it's not at all the possibility. I mean, the like possibilities are endless all the time. For things to be effective, that's a tall order. I mean, I've driven, all over California, and then there's a lot of nothing in some places. So if you had to clear to buy, that's probably the place that you will clear to buy. But I don't know if the map lines up. I will have to put them like once against each other.
Yeah. Real quick, you got Steve P. Have a good night, fellas. Another great show. Thank you, brother. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Seeing 76%.
Steve, he's an OG. I love Steve.
He's the man. Yeah, Steve's the man.
35% Brandon. Yeah. Okay. Keep going.
Okay. I'll take it.
Yeah, I think it's
all right.
Dude, this really lines up. Tomorrow, I'm gonna overlay a map of the Humberto could help me with the Photoshop with this. I'm gonna overlay a map of the, maybe I'll do this on Unusual Suspects tomorrow. I'm gonna overlay the map of the high-speed railway with where the fires are, and it's gonna mind fuck everybody.
All right, Brandon.
All right, so I'm gonna need some help with Photoshop later.
I can give you a hand. The thing is, they always put the California map on a weird angle.
Yeah, to throw you off probably. So I mean, we kind of beat this thing to death, and I mean, I could play annoying videos or create like ridiculous videos all day, but for the sake of efficiency, some crazy shit happened in Venezuela today. So let's talk about that real quick because we have a few crazy things to hit. Let's try to stay under 90 minutes today. So Cam, did you hear about this? What happened to the Venezuela opposition leader?
No, I was a little occupied today. I know you kind of briefly brought it up, which I'm actually really excited to hear about this, which is very.
And Humberto knows a lot about this because he's our South American correspondent expert.
Oh shit! Hell yeah!
And
yeah. And one of the smartest people I know.
All right. So crazy day in Venezuela. All right. Today was the day they were supposed to transfer power.
Okay.
Just a little bit of context for everyone.
Yeah.
Venezuela's been running a dictatorship. It's a de facto dictatorship for the last 25 years since Hugo Chavez got into power with Bolivarian revolution. They haven't let go of power. So Chavez was there forever until the day he died. And then they pushed this guy named Nicolas Maduro to power. And the situation in Venezuela has just been getting worse and worse. Why the average American needs to care about this? Because a lot of the problems that Venezuela has, they're being imported in hordes here in America.
It's a case study.
It is a case study. I'm going to go on a limb here. And I think acting to free Venezuela for national security is more important than anything that we're doing in the Middle East.
Yeah. And you had a good point about Anthony Blinken, not Anthony Blinken, Marco Rubio. So I've never liked Rubio. I always thought he was an establishment turd. I still do. But you said that he's really passionate about South America. He knows what's going on there. So you think he's going to be a good Secretary of State because he knows the rundown of South America?
So real quick,
what exactly happened today? Yeah, we kind of glossed over that. Is that what you're going to say?
No, not just that. I was going more on Berto, the statement you made. You said it is more important for the United States to worry about Venezuela than the Middle East.
Yeah.
Elaborate more. Why? I'm curious. I'll give my opinion on it, but go ahead. I'm curious why.
Because the thing is that even the problems that we have from the Middle East, they're coming through the southern border. All right. If you have that amount of people that are fleeing, I think it's around 24 million Venezuelans had to flee the country. It's an exodus camp. It makes our borders unmanageable. All right. And then it's right in our doorstep. Some people walk from Venezuela here. Mexico is out of control because we always blame the border on us. It is our duty. But there's something on the other side of the border, Cam, and the influx of people is out of control. So like for every, 100,000 Venezuelans that come in, you have a Chinese spy, you have, ISIS terrorists, you have an Al-Qaeda guy, you have all these guys that are coming. This is home turf. Whatever happens in the continent is home turf. Like that's the type of, things that we have to get down. Like, I don't know if you read about the Venezuelan gangs taking over Aurora in Colorado. And I love Venezuelan people. They're great people. They have great food, great culture, beautiful people. And the first migration of Venezuela was very valuable people for the world in general. They brought really good things. And I can say the same about Colombia. When things got really bad in the early 2000s, the people that saw it coming and migrated, they run businesses here, they pay taxes here, they believe in the American dream, and I think they're super valuable people. Now, what the Maduro regime is doing, they're literally opening up the jails, and the first 200,000 came to America, great people, but the last year, like people that were in interest to leave, they were pushed out of the country. You know what I mean? And I mean, like the purpose, like the original purpose in the Roman Empire, in the Chinese, army, like it was to protect over your territory. The original purpose of our military is to defend your piece of land. Like before we had societies, like back to feudal times, the purpose of your army was to protect your domain. All right, that was the main purpose, and we're forgetting the purpose of having armed forces in general. The purpose of police is protecting the citizens, and the purpose of a military is to fight with foreign adversaries. All right, and we have, I don't know how many. Well, Biden said we have 0 troops deployed. I don't believe that. But we had troops deployed in Asia. We had troops deployed in the Middle East, and the level of violence and funding and terror that the Mexican gangs, for example, are doing in the northern part of Mexico. It's out of control. Like I will argue that they're more violent than extremist Al Qaeda members.
All right, so go ahead, Ray.
You're good. Go ahead. Ask.
So, all right. So I'll present my side on it. So, do you know? And I'll ask one more question before I say what I was going to say, which I'm curious. Do you know what is the biggest interest for United States outside of what you say for Venezuela?
Oil.
Okay. So Venezuela is the biggest adversary for us for our borders is Mexico. Colombia, you can't get into Panama from Colombia. Actually, the majority of the route that people are actually getting into Mexico outside is Ecuador. Ecuador has access into Mexico. So a lot of Colombians, Ecuadorians, and other people from other countries, their highest access point into the United States is going into Mexico. So the thing where you're kind of saying where Venezuelans are getting across, what you're getting is, I want to say 5 years ago, I want to say maybe 6 now. Back in the day, during the 80s, Venezuela opened its borders up to Colombia. Colombia was going through a tough time, and I believe it was 80s into the 90s. And Colombia was allowed citizenship or allowed to live and work within Venezuela. My father actually went into Venezuela during the 80s, and he lived his 16 to about 26 years old. About 10 years he spent in like what they call the golden age of Venezuela.
Oh, the golden age.
Yeah,
Can I add to that?
Yeah, like
Brandon, it was the richest country in the continent. I mean, people will have lunch.
GDP.
They will have lunch and go like, "Hey, let's go to Miami, shop a little bit, and come back."
Yeah.
Like the oil reserves of Venezuela are like only comparable to Saudi.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. I mean, they have at that point in time they had the Saudi beat though.
Well, dude, they still have the biggest reserves. Look at this chart.
Yeah, 100%.
They still don't allow.
Can you find the charts? Can you find the charts where he talks of the decline of production? Because it's been so mismanaged that I think it went down to 3% of production.
Well, yeah, we put sanctions on them so they can't sell to anybody anymore.
Well, the moment the sanctions came was the moment they became a dictatorship. They became communist.
No, the sanctions were.
I thought sanctions were under Trump.
Afterwards.
Were afterwards?
Yeah, Trump put the sanctions in.
But they already had. No, they already had some type of sanctions on them. They were already doing bad.
Oh, did he just put harsher sanctions?
No, I think he lifted it based on conditions.
No, that was Biden. Biden told them that he would lift the sanctions if they had free and fair elections, and then sanctions and they'd have the opposite.
Trump had leaders, but they still had always sanctions, and that's what hurt them.
The sanctions were imposed after 1999 when Chavez entered power.
There it is.
That's when the decline started.
Yes. So a lot of them. So what happened about 4 or 5 years ago was that Colombia. I forget our president at the time, and again, my time might be a little off, but Colombia opened up its borders back to Venezuela. It was kind of like, hey, you had our back in the 80s, 90s. Now we're paying forward the favor, right? We're even. And what you've seen a lot in Colombia is good.
I think that was Ivan Duque.
Yeah, I think it was Duque. Yes, and he kind of paid it forward.
Or Uribe.
No, not Uribe. I think it was Duque.
Look at this shit.
Yeah.
So and look at how it falls off in 2016, 17. So yeah, I think Trump did something really drastic.
Yeah. So right there, yes. So where back in the day they used to say like if you had a motorcycle and you went to get gas, they would just fill it up for free. Like that's how it was. Cars would pay nickels and dimes to get their car filled up back.
I grew up in an oil country in Dubai, and I used to fill my 5.7 liter Durango for less than $5, like around $10 if I was like empty.
Yeah, that's wild. But so essentially, the U.S. will benefit if Venezuela comes back to a normal state of democracy. That's the biggest issue.
100%.
Yeah.
That's the biggest. And then it allows us to not have to depend so much on the Middle East. And now we can lean more on Venezuela. And then now Venezuela has the opportunity to bounce back and be the great nation it once was if it was able to figure out its politics. Now,
in no time.
Now,
100%.
What you're seeing, though, when we're talking about the Colorado and all that, that's still the biggest threat. I think beyond the Middle East, yes, Middle East is big. I think the biggest threat still stands as Mexico and what Mexico is doing to the cartel. That is the border safety, because at the end of the day, I know for a fact that a lot of Venezuelans, Colombians, and people from all over the world, you can't even just say South America. I think when a lot of people think of illegal aliens, I think there's still that notion that it's mainly Latin America, right? And we're forgetting that there is people from all over the world now coming in through that border. That is no longer just Latin America. And I think the biggest danger, I think, is still Mexico on that border. Beyond that, but yes, they threatened and they opened their jails of some of the worst people they had and guided them directly to the front. Yeah.
So, Brandon, what you're referring to, and Trump had the right idea and he imposed the right sanctions, and the regime was about to expire because he was starving it from oxygen.
Yeah. Yes.
And
Same
then
with Iran.
And listen how funny this is. The regime was about done, all right? And Biden, in order not to frack or drill here in America, what Trump wants to do, I don't know if you remember last year, Brandon, we're like literally tapping into a strategic reserve of oil, all right? And it was the all-time lowest that reserve's been. Like, it's going to take us 10 years to refill what we had, all right?
Yeah, I'll pull up the chart. It's empty right now.
It's empty. So you have a president that he run on being green and not drilling and whatever, but it gets to a point that energy is so important for human development and the economy that he had to find oil somewhere. We had a disaster in the Middle East. We didn't establish the proper routes to start bringing that oil here on the cheap. And then, Venezuela is right next door. They both align on the left, and he lifted the sanctions. And this gave the Maduro regime a second coming, And I can't believe that, Venezuela is a thrown stone away. Like, people can actually walk here. And I don't know if Blinken has spoken about it,
He did on election night when that bullshit happened in the Venezuela election. Blinken came out and like said a whole oh yeah, we're not going to stand for this. We're going to have to look into this. And I haven't heard shit from him since that election happened. So does the deep state have a vested interest in Venezuela being a disaster?
It keeps communism is the main sickness in Latin America. That's what it is. Communism and socialism. You have the head of the snake, that is Cuba, all right? Most paramilitary units that are ruling Venezuela right now, they were trained in Cuba, all right? They send agents of communism all over South America. They prop up candidates to have the disaster happen. If you cut the head, and Venezuela, even though it's not doing really well for most people, most citizens, because the guys on top, they're making bank. They finance Cuba still run. Like, if you can look it up, how many ships, tankers of oil they send to Cuba to keep the lights on, right? So if Venezuela managed to, if they managed to place a reasonable, democratically elected leader, you will see the fall of Cuba, and you will see the fall of communism and socialism in the rest of South America.
And perhaps the powers that be don't like the idea of that because they, communism's a perfect segue to globalism. It's like the same concept, except just on a national level instead of a global level. So I imagine there's some degree of the people that make things happen, on the grand scheme. I think that they might like these authoritarian regimes because it makes the conditions easier for them to do what they want when the time is right, because they're the big concern, the way I see it, amongst the people who are trying to fundamentally change the world, is that they're trying to chip away at the strength of the United States and the Western European countries to make it easier for them to create the system that they want to create. So like the Middle East is
that. You got to realize also that the United States is also what keeps the world in peace. Whether people want to realize that,
yeah,
if the United States crumbles into chaos, the rest of the world goes into chaos.
Yeah, and sorry for the term, but Brandon's literally a double-sided dildo because both sides are getting fucked, right?
You said I'm a double-sided dildo, or the situation?
No, the situation is a double-sided dildo.
Yes.
Both sides are getting fucked. All right, because
Yeah.
why do you keep these guys down? Because you get cheap labor. All right, who does cheap labor hurt? The people that are working for pennies on the dollar, and the people that are not working for pennies on the dollar. All right, so you're driving wages in America down. You get cheap labor from for torn countries. All right, and that's in the best interest of them. And I will go even further. Like I'm sure because Colombia right now has probably the worst president in history.
But there's actually feedback. So that's what I was going to go with. What you almost saw in Colombia, which is actually going to be interesting to see how this next election plays out, though. And you had an original member of La Guerrilla, Communist Party, and
terrorist.
He actually made it as a president. And
convicted terrorist.
Yeah, convicted terrorist, everything. Like he had all these crimes against him. But what you had was literally played out to the T. Was you had teachers, colleges. I mean, I was there when the election happened. And anybody who was university and down age was for this president. Because the teachers had infiltrated them so bad. All my cousins, everybody, they were like, oh no, the Duque and Uribe, they were the terrorists. And you have these teachers that blow up all the socialist beliefs, and it became a cancer. And you actually had his opposing candidate, forget his name, but they called him the Colombian Trump. And he ended up losing. And he ended up losing, and he would have been great. And he had a great record. He did great for as a mayor. He had given up he wouldn't even take the money that he was paid for. He was just literally trying to do it, and he wanted to bring Colombia to a great place. Now in Colombia, what I'm getting from my family down there is they've actually stalemated him through these last 3 years, and he hasn't been able to make any big advances. And it was getting real close to ruining us and leading us down that road. But he kind of, I think like Congress and everybody just started fighting it back because we were heading towards exactly that path. Go ahead.
I think the Colombian opposition and the parliament, they've done an outstanding job setting boundaries for this terrorist. Gustavo Petro is literally a terrorist. Like I don't even have to say allegedly, Brandon, because he's convicted of terrorism. I don't have to say, he's convicted. All right. And let me tell you another thing. Like, I know you've never been to Colombia. And Venezuela. It's also, no, it's beautiful, Brandon.
I know.
Like if those countries manage to get their shit together, it's not like Mexico, all right? It's not like Mexico.
Yeah.
This people will run back. All right. I think you met enough Venezuelan ladies and enough Colombian ladies. So imagine those beautiful ladies in the most fertile land you can imagine. Like you spit on the ground after having a bagel, and you're gonna get a sesame tree. All right.
Yeah.
With the most beautiful beaches, best parties, best attitude. Like I think a lot of Colombians and Venezuelans, they yearn for things to be fixed, to go back. Like they don't. I don't think they like if we lived in an ideal world, I think you will see a lot of them going back there because it's literally paradise on earth, Brandon.
I know, it sounds like it. Shit.
It's something else. Like and the wealth, gold mines, silver mines, oil. Most people in Colombia and Venezuela, they're heavily educated, so you have human resources for days, and they just keep on putting these countries down. And that's one side of the story, and the other side of the story is what we're importing here. That is not good for Americans either.
Yeah. And a big part of it too is the like they try to keep these countries down because they want them to be dependent on these IMF loans, and like because when they can't pay them off, then they start seizing their assets and putting them in these like impossible positions, and they could kind of bend them to their will and make them do what they want to do. So I mean, I've heard all this stuff about America and the West not wanting countries to use nuclear reactors, not wanting them to use more efficient forms of energy. So like it seems like we like really do a bunch of shit to like second and third world countries to keep them down. It's like I almost wonder if it would be as chaotic in South America. And
no, not at all, Brandon.
Without our influence.
Brandon, this is by design. I mean, let me bring you back to the Cold War. We had Russian missiles stationed in Cuba. All right, we're this close, like everything over. It's done. Roll the credits, game over. Get another quarter. All right, we're this close. And if we manage to move, like, how many troops do you think went to the Middle East?
Over the last 20 years?
Yeah, over the last 20 years. Would it be 1 million troops? 2 million?
I don't know if it's that much, right? Like, I feel like I would guess maybe 200,000. Is that low?
Between the first Iraq War, the second Iraq War, the Afghanistan War.
Cam.
The global war on terrorism. Sorry, I'm looking up a quote that I was trying to find that I was going to bring up about what you were saying just now.
Amount of U.S. soldiers sent to the Middle East since the year 2001-ish. Like, is it under 1 million?
I would probably think just shy of 1 million.
Because it's not. I don't think it's a crazy amount, but
just look up. Look, I'll look it up right now. Hold up.
Yeah. But I know it costs 12 trillion. That's what I do.
I mean, it's the most losses we've ever had, and I think the most detrimental war we've ever had on American lives. And I think it was like 150,000, 200,000. I forget. Hold on.
That died or that were sent there?
Were sent. That died. Sorry.
Oh shit. So yeah, then it probably is at least 1 million, probably more. But
so imagine. Yeah.
To kind of what you said with the North and the South thing, ordeal brand, the Dalai Lama, the 14th Dalai Lama once was quoted on one of his documentaries. He says, if you grab a map of the world and you draw a line across down the center of it, forever the North has always taken from the South. And then the North has always been wealthier than the South. Now take that as you want and what you want to take with it. But that's just always kind of been on I guess a truth throughout time. I don't know. It was really interesting.
What I'm pointing at, there's a will. Where there's a will, there's a way. I think there's a bunch of people here that would love to live in their home country. They don't want to be here.
Yes.
And they have to be here for economic reasons. They have their culture. They have the music. They have beautiful beaches, beautiful women, nice cold beer, great weather, and it's just holding them back. So let's get back to the story because I have some real. I have a few nuggets, Brandon.
Did you like read into this thing? So it's saying that she. Okay, so explain so she was kidnapped and she wasn't kidnapped. And
you didn't think I'm one of the smartest guys for nothing, Brandon.
Okay, you gotta live up to it.
I gotta live up to it. Okay, so this started today, January 9th, 2025, early morning. There was a protest, and María Corina Machado was you will say arrested, but she was literally kidnapped. All right.
First time she came out of hiding since the election, right?
First time she came out of hiding since the election. Something that Trump should have done. Just hold the fort. We need you, guy.
Yeah, seriously.
So, during the mid morning, there's a video of her being grabbed, and allegedly, she was taken to a prison in Venezuela, a really bad prison. Like, imagine prison here is even worse. All right. Edmundo Gonzalez, who's the actual president-elect. All right, and keep that in mind because
they blocked her from being the real president, right?
Yeah, they didn't allow her to be elected. So the real president, the actual president, the legal president of Venezuela, because during the election there was a bunch of kerfuffle, demanded to have Machado immediately released. I mean, it's kind of obvious, and he told the armed forces there to not play with fire. That's literally what he said. Former Colombian president, Ivan Duque, we talked about him. He said yet another demonstration of the violence and cowardly dictator Maduro. So like he called them out. President of Panama also called them out. The Spanish, they're very socialist there. Spain is the worst. Called them out as well. Obviously, Javier Milei weighed in, and she was finally released in the afternoon. But they say that during her kidnapping or imprisonment, they made her record a bunch of videos inside of the jail. I think the global community, except the United States, have condemned, what's going on in Venezuela right now by the independent research, because she counted the votes independently of what, because, and Joseph Stalin said this, like, it doesn't matter who votes, what matters is who counts the votes, right? So they counted independently, they had all the votes tallied up, they had external organizations to, grant the election to her, but at the end of the day, the Maduro regime that is more alone than ever. Like, one thing is that they're doing economically better after Biden lifted the sanctions, and we're hoping that Donald Trump, puts the sanctions back in, because once you cut the money, it's a wrap. And then I just want to show here, it's a very interesting tweet, Brandon. Let me see if I may.
Got it.
Screen. Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Nayib Bukele, who is a total stud. He posted this image. Can you see it right now?
The weather?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's cold as hell.
Imagine this. This is the president of El Salvador, all right?
Yeah.
And it says clear skies, mostly clear. And that's all he posted, Brandon. Like, literally, you can see the tweet, no comment, and he posted clear skies. All right? And after that was 4 hours ago, and then after that, he had this post. All right?
A bag.
It's not any bag. You know what type of bag that is?
Fanny pack?
No.
Brandon, come on.
I know.
Just because you wear a fanny pack. That's the bag where you take your toothbrush and your things when you're
your toiletry bag.
Yeah, that's when you're gonna have a really quick trip and you want to, brush your teeth and come back.
Yep.
So this guy, I don't know. He's a guy of action. He's a highly intelligent man, and I don't know what this means. But hey,
I thought you were gonna tell us you knew what it meant, and like he was
nobody
saying
knows.
I swear to God, I was like, "Yo, he's about to drop some serious shit, dog." He's like, I thought he was about to pull up an article, like he knew it.
Yeah, like everything was gonna be okay now, and he was telling us. What if he's just tweeting nonsense?
But Brandon, you see, you don't understand the country that he was handed. All right. The lady that does nails for my mother, she's from El Salvador, and her parents, and they're in their 60s, 70s, and this is a sad thing, because I dropped my mother to get her nails done and whatever, and I say hi to the lady. I was like, oh, I'm so glad that Nayib Bukele got elected, and she started telling me, and she told me her parents, because this had 50 years of being ruled by just the worst of the worst, gangs, drug dealers, corrupt government, her parents were having their first teenage years at 70.
Wow.
It's the first time they were allowed to walk outside at night and go grab a drink. The first time they were allowed to walk outside and get coffee. The first time they were allowed to go to watch a movie under Bukele.
Wow.
So if he posted, and he doesn't fuck around. You see his announcement. He's like, I'm gonna grab all these motherfuckers from this neighborhood. And before he pressed post, he has all the fucking cops and military in a truck with long guns, and he doesn't fuck around.
Yeah, he's savage.
He might mean something. He's a savage, and I don't think he's fucking around.
Does he speak with the lady at all? Like, does he have any interaction with her? Has he said anything about the Venezuela thing?
Oh yeah, he's fully on board with the lady.
Hey, real quick, I just want to sorry to interrupt. I see Eric T just put, I work at the utility in LA, and this looks like a clown show. Hey, Eric, can you please give us more information on what you got? I'm interested. I know, sorry to jump in. I know we're talking about Venezuela, But I just want to kind of hear from Ground Zero, somebody there. It says, I work at the Lieutenant. It looks like a classroom. Eric T, please share some more of what you got.
Yeah,
brother.
do you have any exclusive videos or anything like that? Send them to let's see, should I give me send them to what?
While we're doing that, I don't want to glaze too hard, but you know what they should do? They
What?
should send my boy Ron DeSantis there.
Oh my God. Hey,
Yeah, no, we've been saying that he's a master at
clean that
handling
up.
local
He cleaned that up.
disasters.
Dude,
Terrible
we
at
had the worst natural disasters, and he's not fixed by them. He
No.
knows when he's gonna come. He gets all the linemen ready, police, food, water. Like
never looks stressed.
Brandon never stressed. He
Mm-mm.
rebuilt the whole west coast of Florida in less than a year.
Like before it was
Bridges,
broken.
houses. Yeah, absolute chat. Like if I was in California, I'd be asking for Ron DeSantis to go deal with that shit.
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, there's been a single piece of positive news that came out of the way from California, the way they're managing it. So, yeah, send that to let's see, bsito@vt.com if you have any good videos or anything. Eric, thank you, and thoughts and prayers out to you for sure too. Stay safe. But anyway, so let's put a bow on this Venezuela thing, and so
I think he did pretty good.
Dude.
Yeah, no, that was a good job. Like I know a lot more about South America right now with you guys duking it out over that.
No, that was good. That was good.
Yeah. So, do you think she has a chance of being president? I mean, it sucks that I guess their inauguration is like next week, right?
No, it's tomorrow.
Tomorrow. So, I mean, yeah, that sucks because
10th.
I was kind of disappointed with what Trump said. Did you see what Trump tweeted about this?
No,
What did he say?
Here, I'll pull it up. I'll pull up the truth. He basically just like called them. Here it is. He said the following. Dun, dun, dun. Here it is.
They're wondering who you want as governor. Sorry, could you go?
I am
I
pleased. Go ahead.
No, I give the same answer as Pat. I would love to be governor of California as long as I live in Florida.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if any of us were governor of California, we would make it sick.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, that's too easy. All right, so we should send all the homeless people in New Mexico. Now that I'm thinking about it, like all the California homeless people, send them to New Mexico. That's probably the shittiest state, right?
Let's do it.
It's probably empty.
All right, so Trump said about the Venezuela situation. Oh,
I was going to say this is actually about an ambassador in Sweden. I don't know what you're talking
about.
I was reading. I was like, what does Sweden have to correlate with Venezuela? Where are you going to get here?
I sent myself the link of the tweet, and I guess it.
Beautiful women. I think that's what they have in common.
Sweden, yeah.
Hold on. So I guess Truth is still, fixing some things with their, I guess, functionality. Because I sent myself the link of the thing he. All right, here. So here it is. Trump said 2 hours ago, Venezuelan democracy activist María Corina Machado and President-elect Gonzalez are peacefully expressing the voices and the will of the Venezuelan people with the hundreds of thousands of people demonstrating against the regime. The great Venezuelan American community in the United States overwhelmingly support a free Venezuela and strongly support me. He had to throw that in. These freedom fighters should not be harmed and must stay safe and alive. So he called them freedom fighters instead of like the legitimate president.
Yeah,
he's right.
He's right. Like everyone that's protesting against the government, Brandon.
Yes, because the current government is corrupt. He's saying that they should be the freedom fighters because they're the new wave. They're trying to end what has been going on. So he's right. Yeah, I agree.
I think it's a good tweet. What makes me angry?
He should acknowledge him as a legitimate president, though. Like the freedom fighters as a legitimate president.
Yeah, I mean that's what he's saying right now. I mean, she will be as of tomorrow.
What makes me angry here is and the Republican Party in general, like the reactions, the reactions to certain conflict in Eastern Europe is violent. They're like, we need to end the war. We're gonna send missiles and we're gonna end this.
Whatever it takes.
And then the response for a certain conflict in the Middle East is like, we won't stop if you guys don't do this, don't do that. We're gonna send troops, and then we have this thing that people are being stolen life, of the right to, you know, be free, like
Yeah.
right next door. And we get this like feeble tweet about it, you know, and it's a direct problem that affects Americans
Oh
and
yeah.
Venezuelans alike. So I don't know. It's a lot to think about. You know,
Yeah.
maybe the Venezuelan
There's
lobby
a
isn't
lot
big
with
enough.
that. There's a lot with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's an entire rabbit hole. Like the percentage of Congress that pretty much can't be trusted and like isn't acting in our best interest. It's probably like 95%. But so your prediction is that Maria Machado is going to be the president? Like that? Like what? So like how's this going to play out tomorrow?
I mean,
No, not at all. Not at all.
Okay,
I think
yeah.
I'm a big believer in nothing ever changes.
Nice.
I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful in saying that I hope she does. Now, do I think that I think it's a 50-50. I don't know if it goes.
Man, I've been following this for the past 5 years, you know, paying attention to it. And we had 2 or 3 times that we're hopeful that things were going to change, but we need to play it by ear and see how it goes.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm with you there. They're gonna have to do a violent revolution to get her in there. And I thought they had enough momentum the last time. Like it's really a matter of when the military turns on Maduro. So they have to make that happen somehow. But I think it's a good place to end it. So without any yeah, we won't get into the rest. I have a lot of shit to talk about that is still evergreen. Like a lot of crazy shit happened this week, but we can get into that tomorrow. But guys, if you have not already liked and subscribed and shared this, do all that. You'd find me and Humberto on the next. Cam's got to get on
And
the next.
tomorrow on The Usual Suspects.
Yes, tomorrow on Unusual at 6:00 p.m.
Brandon, you just plug smaller channels and pass it forward.
Yes, I know. But okay, so you'll see us on the Unusual Suspects tomorrow. Then we'll be back here tomorrow at 8, right after Unusual Suspects. No days off, no hours off. That's how we roll. But love you guys. Thanks for watching. Let's
see you Saturday.
See you Saturday.
Well,
you gotta work tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Goodbye. Thanks, guys. Love you.